we went out to Lisbon, which is something we tend to do once to twice a month, just during the weekend, because it's when we're both the most available, I guess. And we went out to this fair in Lisbon called Feira da Ladra, which is translated Thief's Fair or something like that. But basically they have a lot of really old things or just secondhand things that they sell. Some of the stuff is, in my opinion, selling for really good prices. Some of it, if it's especially old or in especially good condition or a bit of both, tends to be really expensive. And then we tried to go to a Japanese figurine store, which was unfortunately closed, so hopefully we'll be able to go some other time when it's actually open. And then we went to a couple of Asian supermarkets because, especially ever since the trip to Asia, I've gotten really curious about trying different kinds of foods from different countries, and I really liked our trip to Asia, so lately we've been going to those supermarkets about once a month since we came back to Portugal. And part of the reason why I'm also doing this haul like this at the end of the video is because basically everywhere that we went to today, you're not actually supposed to film anything, so I just got some like very general shots of how everything looked without going to what specific sellers were selling what specific items. But the most surprising thing actually that we managed to find today that was definitely out of our budget was a couple of authentic Louis Vuitton bags, and one of them was really vintage and it was that kind of multicolored pattern. It was for 300 bucks, which for, you know, what it is, it's not a bad price at all. It's just definitely out of our budget for now. And the other bag, we didn't really ask the price because both me and my husband didn't really like it that much, was one of those denim bags. Anyway, I've talked for long enough, so into the haul. First off, we got like a pretty full bag of some pretty old comic books from Uncle Scrooge, basically, because it's a comic book that my husband has always really liked and read ever since he was really young, so he just kind of collects them. And yeah, we found a seller that had quite a lot of books that he never found, so we got I think 11 or 12 books total. Each one was €1, so that's not a bad price at all, even though in terms of condition, some of them are pretty good, others are kind of a bit torn and whatever. Yeah, most of these are from the 90s or early 2000s. In terms of books, actually, I also got a few for myself, which I was really surprised by, because the few times that we've been there, we usually left with nothing, or if we leave with something, it's just a bunch of comic books for him. So I found a lot of authentic vintage magazines that are actually in Portuguese, and I found one that was in French, which was also really cool, but it was missing most of the pages, so I didn't bother with that. One of them is from 1942, the other one is from 1953, and this last one doesn't really have a date, at least not that I've seen, but based on the style, I'm guessing like 60s. And these two in particular, I'm really excited about because they have a couple of recipes from, you know, that year. So I'm hoping sometime I'll be able to try the recipes. These, because they're so old, I mean, his books were also pretty old, but these ones are quite a lot older. These were €3 each, but we bargained a little bit. So instead of paying $9 for the 3 books, we paid 8, which is not a huge difference, but it's something. And then the last thing that we got from one of the sellers at the fair were these 2 incredibly beautiful sort of painted mirrors. One of them says at the bottom autumn, the other one is winter, so we're missing 2, and I absolutely love the aesthetic of these, and I was really surprised that my husband was also interested, because usually I'm the one that wants to buy stuff, especially if they're more for home decor than anything else that don't really have much of a purpose. I'm usually the one that is like, hey, let's buy this, it's so pretty, let's just put it on a wall or a corner or something, and he tries to talk me out of it every time. So I was really surprised when he asked the price and he was okay with getting these. So each one was €10, so we got these 2 for 20, and as you guys can see, they are fairly big and also a little bit heavy for me. I think they're absolutely beautiful. I'm not really sure where we're gonna put them, but we definitely need to hang these, especially because they're so heavy. So that's everything that we got from the fair or market, if you want to call it that. Then we went to a couple of Asian supermarkets. We went to a really small one that I've never been in and got a couple of interesting things that I hadn't seen in the other supermarkets I've been to. And then we went to my usual favorite, which is I think the biggest one. But once again, like with the fair, in these Asian supermarkets, they don't really let you take pictures or film inside. So I don't have much footage from them, even though I absolutely love them, and if you can go to one, I highly recommend that you go check them out because they have some really interesting stuff in my opinion. From the first small supermarket we went to, I got these 2 packages of Oreos, and as you can see, they're covered in chocolate. This one is strawberry flavored, this one's matcha flavored chocolate, and I have only ever seen Oreos covered in either white chocolate or milk chocolate, so these to me were super exciting, and I'm really curious about trying them. Another flavor of Oreo that I got because it just seemed really interesting was this one. From the packaging, it's not really clear what the flavor is, but on the back it literally says adzuki bean. So I'm really curious about trying this one as well, even though I'm pretty sure I'm probably gonna like the other 2 a bit more than this one. Even though I've had a few desserts or sweet snacks with beans, it's not really a flavor I'm very used to. I also got these 2 like meat flavored salty snacks. This one is steak flavored Cheetos, which well, both of these actually are vegetarian. A lot of meat flavored snacks are vegetarian, which is fortunate for me because it just means I get to try more stuff. But it just looks like sort of a crunchy Cheeto and apparently tastes like steak. I don't know. And then this one is Italian red meat flavor, so I think they mean like Italian like bolognese sauce flavor Lay's. At least that's what I'm expecting, but I haven't tried either of these. The last 2 little snacks that I got from that supermarket are these 2 small roll cakes. This one tastes like milk and caramel, and this one is matcha. And then we went to my favorite Asian supermarket in Lisbon. We got these 2 packages of like very thinly rolled meat. They're both packages of lamb. They also have veal and beef. I think lamb is just my husband's favorite, so he got 2 of those because you can't really find these anywhere in like a regular supermarket. Only the Asian ones have this kind of super thinly cut meat to cook. And then for me as a vegetarian, I got this kind of fried balls of tofu to try. I've been eyeing these for a while, but I haven't actually tasted them yet, so hopefully I like them. And I've just got some firm tofu because I just think that the tofu at the Asian supermarkets honestly tastes better to me than in regular ones. The texture is just softer and like creamier. So whenever we go there, I usually get a package or 2. Another thing that I usually get from the Asian supermarkets that I've very recently found out some big supermarkets in Portugal are starting to sell bok choy and also Asian pears that basically look like apples, and they kind of have the same texture as an apple, but they taste like pears. They are right now one of my favorite fruits, so I always try to get at least a few of these. And I also got one vegetable that I'm not really sure what it is, which is something I also tend to do. I'm gonna have to look it up and see if I can find any recipes or any idea what this is to know how to make it, but we'll see. Finally, the last thing I got for my husband, even though I might end up eating them if he doesn't, are these little panda cookies, because when we were in Asia we got these quite a few times, but usually just the milk flavor or strawberry. This one is chocolate banana, which I thought would be interesting to try. That was everything that we got today. I hope you're staying safe. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.